it was tough. It's a completely independent movie and it got picked up by a major studio platform. Let's talk about it. I am so ready.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Film Profit Repeat. My name is Camille Hugh, and I am the host of this podcast, this video podcast, where I speak with filmmakers, writers, doing it, doing everything that we talk about doing, just inspiring us. And today I am here with Emily Aguilar, who is a writer, director of Brie's Bake Off Challenge. And thank you so much, Emily, for being here with us today on a Saturday. Hi.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, Camille. And you can see my little fluffy dog here at the bottom. He's just gonna be hanging out with us as we go. He was asleep and now he's awake. But thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
That's totally fine. My dog is actually right by my foot as well. She's sleeping right next to me. So
okay, good. Yeah, we're dog friendly around here.
Yes, absolutely. So how exciting. Your movie is on HBO Max.
Max, yes.
I got HBO Max just so I could watch your movie.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I watched it last night with my husband. We really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it's a fun family comedy, so both adults and kids can enjoy.
Absolutely. And this is your third movie. You've done another kind of family movie and then a horror movie, right?
Yeah, so that is just a completely it kind of just happened. I really just went for it. And I made those first two movies right out of college. I was 23 when I filmed those. So it was just, oh my gosh, like the things that happened. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way because those led to Brie's Bake Off Challenge. Like I learned so much making these two shoestring experimental films. I honestly did not mean to sell them. I didn't think I could. And then I did, and I learned all of these things, and it totally just prepared me for Brie's Bake Off Challenge and like the next level up. So I'm happy to share all the information as possible.
Yeah, well, first, I guess we should ask you to tell us what Brie's Bake Off Challenge is about.
Yes, so Brie's Bake Off Challenge follows Brie Hayes.
Mom? All right, kids. Who's ready for the bake sale?
She is an aspiring baker, and she hears of the Spring Bake Off Challenge happening at her school.
The winner of this year's Spring Bake Off Challenge will win $5,000 towards your college tuition.
I am going to push you really hard to win this.
And she wants to do everything she can to win first place. And then boom, her arch nemesis / bully, Vanessa, wants to win first place too. So they kind of go head to head.
Do you really think those bakes will sell better than mine?
And it's kind of like a battle of the cake mixes here.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time!
I'm gonna beat you fair and square.
Yeah, well, we'll just have to see then, won't we?
That's a great way to put it. What made you want to write this story?
So I actually wrote this in 2017. This movie was a 5-year journey, believe it or not. And it was tough. It's a completely independent movie and it got picked up by a major studio platform. So in 2017, I actually wanted to create something really positive. I mean, it was pre-pandemic, but even at that time, there was a lot of let's say dramas and like crime scene things being made. And I really just wanted to see something positive. I really love baking and cooking shows too. And I knew that I wanted to make a family comedy as my third feature. So I just, this story just got inspired through Brie's character, someone who really wants to go after what she wants. And I really wanted families and kids to see that. And then Brie's Bake Off Challenge happened.
Yeah, I love cooking shows. I watched the British Bake Off and I watched a lot of that during the pandemic, and you can really get sucked into those, like just binge watching the entire season.
Oh yeah. No, I hear you. Like that stuff is super positive. So yeah, I wanted to make it into a movie form, and yeah, it was a really great kind of outlet for me mentally also. Like if I was having a bad day, I knew I had to write. I like to write in the evenings. So I definitely just, that was basically my positive outlet. And it was just funny because just imagine like me sitting on my couch by myself, just cracking myself up while I write some of these scenes. So I mean, it was nice. So
That is the best way to write comedy, right? I remember this is the one quote that I always remember Issa giving in her master class. She said when she was writing Awkward Black Girl, she kept saying to herself, this is so dumb, but it's funny to me and it's hilarious to me. And so she would just write it down. And of course, it was super hilarious and very successful. So that's like the perfect way to go about writing your films and whatever you're doing. If you crack yourself up, that's probably a good sign, right?
That's exactly it. I love Issa Rae so much. She's a really big inspiration for me, and that's how you have to go about it. I mean, for filmmakers watching, you really have to love it yourself, and then just hope that other people love it too. And the crazy thing is, I wrote that when I was 24, or we filmed when I was 24, and I'm not afraid to tell my age. I'm 28 now, so you just got to go for it.
Absolutely. That's like mind-boggling that you were making your third film at the age of 24. Like, how did it come to be? How did you find the cast and the crew and everyone who was a part of this film? There are a lot of people who were involved.
Oh,
right?
yeah, let's talk about it. I am so ready. Because everyone asked me this, and honestly, I really, really want to motivate other filmmakers to do the same. So I am the executive producer of the movie. So that means I put everything, I had all the resources, everything into this movie. And there's a reason why it took me 5 years to make. So for Brie's Bake Off Challenge, I had set aside my own money to make it happen. I originally thought it was going to be me and like a less than 10-person crew. Like, I kid you not, like my first two features, shoestring, like imagine a shoestring, like that's exactly what what little resources I had for my first two. And then for this one, I thought it was going to be the same, to be honest, because it's like, what am I going to do? I have to, in my mind at the time, and even now, it's like you have to create your own opportunities. And at the time, I really didn't see other people really hiring me to do it. I really had to like truly invest in myself and see what I could do. So I was ready for Bree's Bake Off Challenge. I knew I wanted to do a family movie, and I wrote the script, but I wrote it specifically to things that I knew I could pull off or things that I had. So I was already in contact with schools, for example, for locations. And you've seen the movie, like this, we have a lot of scenes in the schools. And one fun fact is that I reached out to every school that I ever attended, like grade school, middle school, high school, a bunch of different schools in different areas, just because I needed to see what made the most sense. I'm in LA, but I also spend time in DC with family, and I'm from the DMV area, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. So I was like open to any school that was, affordable. And fun fact, I actually filmed Bree's Bake Off Challenge at my high school.
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
I convinced them, and they made it affordable, and you kind of just have to go for it. And but yeah, one of the major things that I want filmmakers to know is that I definitely wrote the script to cater to my budget and to cater to locations that I already had or that were easier to find, and that helped stretch the budget a little bit more. So yeah.
Oh wait, so you reached out to your school before you had even finished writing the script?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And yeah, so you kind of like, it's kind of one of those things where like I knew the outline, and it was definitely getting like, I was already almost there finalizing it when I started reaching out. And funny thing though, I just remembered this because it's been so long, and I was actually at my high school a few days ago because I told them, and so this is the funny thing. So my high school in June of 2018 is when we filmed. And I forgot that, so I had reached out to them, I think November, so 6 or 7 months before shooting. But I completely forgot that they were like, you have to film in June because we're going in construction mode July. And so I completely forgot about that. And that's why pre-production was exactly 6 months, basically. And, one thing led to another, and we're like, all right, go, go, go. And sure enough, literally 2 days after we were done filming, because we finished the end of July, I think they started complete reconstruction of the cafeteria, for example, 2 days after we finished. So there was no way to, reshoot if we had to. So everything had to be meticulously planned and thought of ahead of time.
Wow. So I was going to say, are those caution signs, was that a part of the construction that they were doing the next couple of days? They're like, we'll just borrow these.
We added those. Yeah, the kitchen
In
was fine at
post?
the time. No, we added those for production. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? That looks really real.
Thank you. Yeah. We stuck that on there. But yeah, like we did so much, and yeah, just pre-planning really, we pre-planned so much. Like my producers and I just really, oh my goodness, like on call almost every day. I call all my producers my work wives just because their real husbands were like, you're talking to Emily again. And I'm like, yep, got some major planning to do.
Yeah, it's a lot of planning. How did you find, well, so you thought it was going to be 10. How much did you actually end up with?
For a crew?
Yeah.
So one thing led to another. So back to like the original, like I thought it was gonna be less than 10-person crew and whatnot. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we just kept sharing the script. I added my producers on board, and then everyone just kept sharing it. And the more that the script was shared with various people to bring on, the bigger it got. So we ended up with like, I think 25-person crew, and we have 30 casts and like 30 extras or something like that. And I really, thinking back on it, honestly, because it's been 4 years since production, I don't know. I don't really know. Like, I'm just like, dang, we really did that.
That's like a full production, like that's a lot of people involved.
Yes.
That's an amazing feat.
Thank you.
I guess I want to ask how, because you hear a lot of people say, like, I brought on this production team. How did you go about finding those additional people, like the producers who believed in you and your script, who wanted to share it and help get your vision made?
Yeah, so I actually knew them beforehand, and they had reached out and wanted to get more involved, and I actually needed help also. So it was a perfect synergy that, both myself and my producers wanted to work on a project. And I had asked them, like, this is a script, this is my project, do you want to get involved? And they all loved it, and they all just really helped me so much. So if anyone is looking to find a producer for their projects, you really have to vet people and make sure that you're on the same wavelength in terms of personality, and not just personality, but like if their work stands behind them, and then also reliability is huge. And then, yeah, just like the work ethic, like the communication skills. So I'm super direct with my communication. I'm like, I need this. This is exactly how much I have, and this is the time frame. And I think it's gonna go like this, but it could go like this. So be ready. And my producers are amazing. They really took on the film full force. And luckily I think I knew all of them beforehand. A couple of them I hadn't worked professionally before, but basically based on like my things on reliability and communication, I knew it was going to be a good synergy, and it was a really good experience working with them. So
well, you went to film school, right? So you did go to film school, right? I think I read that in your bio. Okay. Yes. Was it like reaching out to your peers from film school, or just people who you had come in contact with from your other productions? Or so
I went to Loyola Marymount University in LA, and I definitely I reached out to a few film school people, but time frames and such like didn't work out, which is totally fine. And then in this case, my producers that I worked with on this movie, we just I met them through other productions. So
gotcha.
Working.
It's just networking. Yeah, it's you gotta network. So here's a big question. Do you have an agent, or this is just like, are you still unwrapped, or what is your situation now, if you don't mind me asking?
No worries. I am not repped right
Oh my
now.
God, the agents
So
are sleeping on you. Like they'll be
I
knocking
know.
down your door any second now.
Yeah, yeah. So that's really funny. We should talk about that because so side note, I started out acting. When I was 18, I moved to LA by myself, got an acting agent. Did not like being treated like a product. Basically got rid of the agent and I started producing my own content to act in. And then I just started producing, and then film school made me direct as part of the curriculum. I was super scared. I did not want to. And then once I did, it was the most amazing thing ever. And so one of the things that you hear in LA is like, hey, you need an agent, you need an agent. And we're told that all the time, right? But I did get advice from a couple people saying an agent will come to you when the time is ready. Like, don't freak out about it. And the biggest advice for me that I got was, hey, if you really love writing and directing, like you need to write and direct. And so I actually have a mentor who um, he's near and dear to my heart. And he literally was like, Emily, you just graduated college, make a feature. Like, I don't care if you don't have any money, like you have to do it. And I was like, no, I don't like, it's a feature. Like, what are you talking about? This is a big deal. And he's just like, it's either now or never. And with that kind of mentality, like, I wasn't gonna wait to get repped and then, do that. Like, for me at the time, I really felt like I needed to gain all of this experience. Like, there was so much that I didn't know. And it's with filmmaking, it's one of those things, like you can read about it all you want, you can like hear other people speak, but unless you do it, then that's when you actually really know the grind of making your own movie, because it was so tough. But yeah, back to the whole agent thing, I definitely let go because I really really wanted. I was like, I need one, da, 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 and you ask around and you try to get one. But once I heard that, the focus completely shifted. It wasn't, oh, I need an agent to make things. No, it's, I need to make things in order to find the right agent at the right time, kind of thing. So I'm not exactly pressed on finding an agent, but it's one of those things where I do know I will be repped when the time is good.
Yeah, you hear that all the time. People
Yeah.
who have agents, they'll be like, you don't need an agent, don't worry about it. Just focus on writing, on making your stuff. But then in the back of your head, you're still like, oh, I need this agent. But as you said, like you can do it. You can get your film on HBO Max without an agent. You can definitely make things happen without them. So you don't need to feel discouraged if you don't have one.
Exactly.
Now, going to your family, is there anyone in your family who's a filmmaker, or like where did this? I know you said you wanted to act, so I guess you never thought you would actually be like directing and making films.
Yeah, so no one in my family is in the film industry. Both my parents are entrepreneurs, they have their own businesses. So I think both my parents are, like, my whole family is ridiculously supportive, which is really important because with Bree's Bake Off Challenge, I actually said, hey, everyone, family, I'm going to invest a lot into this. And of course, my family members are like, Emily, are you sure? And, just putting their, caution of whatever, family, whatever, all that good stuff. And I basically said, I'm like, yes, no one can change my mind. This is what I'm going to do. And I need your support. And I'm just going to do it and end in conversation. Thank you. Love you. And then they were like, okay. So once I made that decision, I was like, all right. And everyone was on board and just was supporting me completely, like, mentally and like all that stuff. Cause it was a 5-year grind, and they were definitely, a lot of them were on set and stuff like that. And my sister and my brother-in-law are actually executive producers on the movie, and they just supported me a lot throughout a lot of the process as well. And they're in the entertainment industry in terms of events, but not film industry, but they're actually really similar. And also, so I'm the youngest of 4, and my sister, because she's done events, I've always helped her growing up. Like as a teenager, I've always helped her with events. And honestly, I think that really prepped me for for film, because film is basically an event and you just film it, right? Like it's similar. So that also prepped me too.
It helps to have a big family, right? You're just like, oh, I need extras. Come on set, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. But luckily, it's kind of funny that none of them were extras in the movie. Yeah, but they were definitely like, hey, I need help dropping this off. I need help with this and stuff like that. So they were all gung ho and just really really supportive again, and that's really important because I know some filmmakers that don't have a supportive family or supportive friends, and it's one of those things that you really have to put your own boundary and just be like, hey, this is what I want to do, and I respect your opinion, but I don't need to be hearing that kind of like negative talk, because filmmaking is already hard enough. Yeah, it's I hear a lot of things from filmmaker friends, and yeah, with filmmaking, you really, at least for me, I like engulf myself with film and everything, and I really do try to be positive and surround myself with positive people as much as possible. Like even if someone has something like cautionary or negative to say, it's like, cool, I totally respect that, but I'm gonna continue.
Yeah,
So,
you don't make that stop you. It's like, that's the takeaway, right? Like,
exactly, yes.
keep your eye on the prize.
Yes.
So I did check out your Instagram, or Bree's Bake Off Challenge Instagram page, and I scrolled all the way to the very beginning. I thought I saw a mention of crowdfunding or crowd. Did you do any of that to raise money for the film? Because I know you mentioned you put your own money in.
Yes. So yeah, we did a crowdfunding, a GoFundMe. When was that? I guess that's 2019. It was definitely after filming. So we did it specifically for post. So we got some money there, and that totally completely 100% helped. We didn't reach our goal, but I think it honestly worked out in the end anyways, because if one thing doesn't fit, then you got to make something else fit. So but yeah, so we definitely did it to help with post, and then with that, like we already had clips and stuff that we could show people and stuff like that, so it was helpful.
Yeah, crowdfunding is,
It's hard.
it is, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
especially if you've done more than one campaign, you're like, hey guys, hitting you up again. Like, I know you gave me some
Yeah,
money before, but I need some more.
definitely. Yeah, no, it's so hard, it really is, and we tried our best and everything, but yeah, it's like it's one of those things where you really have to, that's a whole nother like thing that you need to know. And for me, uh, just campaigning for funding is really it's like a full-time thing, honestly. So we did the best that we could, and we're still really happy obviously with the results, and it took a little bit longer to finish, but we did it.
Yeah, I mean, the movie looks really beautiful. Like, it looks like, I
Thank
said, a
you.
high production, movie. It looks like, was it shot like on red, or like, do you know?
Yeah, we actually filmed on Arri Alexas.
Oh, yeah.
So
Some
yes,
really
and we
great
use,
cameras.
yes, and Zeiss prime lenses. So yeah, the cinematographer Laura Jansen, she is absolutely amazing, and she's working on some really big projects now. And we actually went to film school together. Actually, I brought her on from film school, and yeah. So thank you for saying that, because we definitely worked really hard, obviously in production and planning, and like I made my shot list and storyboards and all that stuff, but also in post, everyone who worked on the movie really put in 150% to bring it above and beyond. So thank you.
Yeah, I feel like in order, you know, we're all working, well, if you're an indie filmmaker, right, usually on a limited budget, but then you feel like in order for a streaming platform, or if it to be distributed, it needs to look like, maybe like it's not an indie film, it needs to look good, and you definitely accomplished that. So kudos to you. I want to ask you now, if you don't feel comfortable answering, that's fine. But I know a lot of filmmakers, especially watching this Film Profit Repeat, want to talk about numbers. So are you comfortable sharing how much it costs to make Bree's Bake Off Challenge?
So I'm actually not allowed to say,
Okay.
unfortunately, but I will say that this is what I say, like making this movie on my own as executive producer is honestly like a miracle. Everything about this movie is a miracle. Like everybody that knows me and like what resources I've been able to pull together from like it feels like out of nowhere is miraculous. So that's my big thing. Like filmmakers need to understand that I have definitely made this movie with those little resources as possible. And then one resource, and some resources are actually invisible or something like that. Like you don't really always see, just because you may not have the money doesn't mean that, oh, like a friend has, you know, a boat that I can use, or, you know, something that brings the quality in the movie higher. So there is definitely, in terms of resources, like there were a lot of hidden resources that I was able to find for the movie to raise the production value up, solely on just asking for help and being really direct. Hey, this is my movie. This is what I need. Do you have it? I'm so sorry to ask you, but can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Yes or no? Okay, great, move on. And, you know, you kind of keep going on that way. So, yeah, for filmmakers watching, like I don't come from from mad money or anything like that. So yeah.
Are you allowed to say if the film has been profitable, if you've made your money back?
I'm not allowed to say that either, but I will say with filmmaking, it is a long-term investment. So to be honest, like I think I can say this, the money that I've put into this movie, I definitely was not expecting it back. And it's kind of one of those things where you just make it because you love your project, and it is who you are. Like I'm a filmmaker. I need to make films in order for myself to feel fulfilled and satisfied and, you know, contribute to this world. So I've always invested money in projects more than, you know, buying myself, you know, like a really expensive purse or something. Like, no, like all my stuff goes strictly to all my projects. And I don't know why I'm wired that way, but I guess
No, that's great. Like you're investing in yourself, into your craft, and it's only going to return, I'm sure, like 10 times fold, because you're having like this portfolio, this like body of work that speaks for itself. People like know you can do it. So it makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
Yeah, and it's important, like filmmakers, you know, it goes back to that whole mindset. Like I really didn't believe that anyone would hire me to be a director when I was 24 years old, especially like just being a Latin female. I didn't see that like at all. So I had to create the opportunity myself. And then, you know, throughout the years, you start seeing more filmmakers do like Issa Rae and Ava DuVernay and stuff like that. And it just really inspires you, like, wow, like they did it, like I can do it too. So honestly, like for any filmmaker watching, like I did it with the very little that I had, and you can do it too.
You are inspiring me as I prepare to make my first feature. I'm like, yes.
Yes, you can do it. You're gonna do it. It's already happening.
It's true. I'm writing the script as we speak.
Yes, good.
All right, cool. Let me see here. Oh, how was it working with children?
You know, surprisingly, all the children in this movie are freaking wonderful.
Okay.
They really listened. They really all went above and beyond. I will say a few of them are dance kids with dance moms who are totally prepared and really went above and beyond for the movie. I mean, if like because I did the sound and like things get raised in sound levels in post, even the extras that we had, they were really talking. They're like, oh my gosh, Brie this, and oh my gosh, Vanessa that. And I did not ask them to do that, but they did it on their own. I'm like, this is great. Like they really embraced the whole characters and everything, even from the main characters to the extras. And shout out to my top three girls, Devin, Leah, and Delaney Disk and Mallory Vertman, who are Brie, Vanessa, and Mallory and Millie. They are amazing to work with, and they're so cute, and I think they're like 18 now. which is just crazy because we shot that 4 years ago, and everyone worked really hard again to make this happen. So with that, we actually did a lot of Zoom meetings and Zoom rehearsals, and we practiced a lot ahead of time. So that was they're just amazing.
That's good. Because I have a web series with dogs, and I have a different dog every single episode, and people are always like, the dogs and children are very difficult to work because, with kids, you have different times that you can't work outside of, I think, something like that. But that's great to hear that your experience was positive.
Yeah.
So let's see, what are you working on next?
Yeah, so I'm actually writing 2 scripts right now. One is a rom-com and the other is a dance movie. So I'm not allowed to talk about those right now, but I'm really excited, and we'll see which one gets made first. I got made next. But yeah, just the writing process is really fun. And yeah, again, like, oh my gosh, like Bree's Bake Off Challenge, I wrote that in 2017, and it's like, you just learn so much throughout this whole process. And I've literally watched Bree's Bake Off Challenge like 100 times. So I just, it's all about progression with filmmaking. And so I'm really excited. And yeah, there's going to be the next movie coming.
Okay. Are those going to be also independently produced, or are
No.
Okay.
No. So Bree's Bake Off Challenge is definitely, one of those like step up films, like in terms of like a step up towards my career kind of thing. So I won't be doing that again. And now I've built some kind of foundation to help lead to the next one. So
and that's exactly what you want to do. Like, that's like the goal, right? When you make it, so that you kind of hopefully don't have to do it again and get more money and more
exactly. Yeah,
so it worked.
It did. And honestly, and it can work. I mean, it's worked for so many filmmakers. And I think the really big thing for filmmakers watching is just like, you really, really have to plan ahead of time, like plan for the worst, hope for the best, and, whatever that saying is. But also like use your resources. Like there's so many resources that filmmakers don't even know that they have sometimes. And I'll have conversations with a lot of filmmakers. They're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize. And I'm like, yeah, it's right there. Use it. And things like that. So for filmmakers watching, it's like, it's definitely possible. And I'm here to share that message. Like, you got to do it. We got to do it.
Well, okay. So once you make the movie, and I know you have it on HBO, so that's like in itself its own marketing channel, but you're also pushing the movie, right, to get eyeballs on it. How is that whole process? Do you have a team that you're working with who helps you with, driving eyeballs to it? Or just like, tell me all about it, because marketing is like the hardest part. I feel you think it's over when you've done the movie, but no, it's this other thing to do.
You're absolutely correct. Marketing is tough. So I'm in the marketing stage right now with Bree's Bake Off Challenge, and I'm personally moving into the 6th year of this journey with Bree's Bake Off Challenge. I do have a team, but with all of that, like we as filmmakers always have to, keep the outreach going. Like we never stop talking about our projects and what we're doing. And so marketing for Bree's Bake Off Challenge, we've actually done a few things. We were at the Sakura Matsuri. It's the street festival side of the Cherry Blossom Festival in DC last week, I think was that? I can't even know. Last week. And we had a booth, and we were passing out stickers and letting everyone know about the movie. And so that is one marketing tactic that we did. And a lot of people, had no idea. And they're like, oh my gosh, I'll check it out. We have HBO, da, da, da. So that is one thing. Social media also is another thing that we're doing. I'm now on TikTok, believe it or not.
Are you TikToking?
I'm a TikToker, so it's actually been really great, and the community that TikTok builds based on the algorithm is actually amazing. So I've had a few filmmakers reach out saying that I've inspired them and stuff, and that's just like, it's just really nice to hear, because it's been so difficult, and I haven't been able to talk about the movie like that much because you're in the grind and you have your head down. But now with marketing, you can have your head up. And then yeah, so the marketing is definitely something that marketing to this extent is definitely new for me. And yeah, getting on wonderful channels like this one and doing other interviews, and trying to just spread the word as much as possible.
Yeah, it's man, it's so much work, it's like almost
It
never
never
ending. But
yeah.
I'm curious if you went into like any film festivals after you finished it, or how did HBO come to find you?
Yes, this question. So I already knew ahead of time that I was going to go straight to market with this movie. Because I had sold my first two features, I knew what that was like. So I wanted to do the same for Breeze. And honestly, the way HBO Max came about was one cold email led to another email, led to more people watching the movie, to it spreading the word, and it like literally they bit. And then with the whole sales process in films, everyone has to watch the movie and vet it out, and there's different people who need to view it and see if they want it or not. And Bree's Bake Off Challenge made it. I mean, HBO Max and the team definitely saw the goal of it, to make people and families happy watching this fun family comedy with this diverse cast and crew. And they saw it. They really believed in me and in the project. So I'm thankful to them. But yeah, totally, like, again, because I wasn't repped, I did a lot of asking around. And with the network that I had, I was able to get it on there somehow.
So cold emails work. That's what you're saying.
They did. And it's one of those things where if the product is good, then it'll speak for itself, like 100%. Your work speaks for itself. And again, that comes all through like serious hardcore planning ahead of time, and using your resources as much as possible, and raising the production value, and putting a lot of love into the movie.
Yeah, was that the same process with your other two films that you also sold? Was it just a cold emailing and just one person led to another? Is that the same?
No, not at all.
Oh.
So my first two features, again, they were very experimental, and I honestly did not think I was going to sell them. And the opportunity arose, and I did try. And so I will say, in order to sell a feature film, the main place that I've gone to is called the American Film Market. It's in LA. It's usually every November in Santa Monica. And I went my first year for Claire's Ultimate Christmas, which is my first feature, with a little girl and a dog in it.
Both,
and
the dog and the child.
yeah, oh my gosh. But again, they were really great to work with. And but yeah, so back to the first two features. I had gotten the advice to go to the American Film Market, and that is a place where you go to buy and sell movies. And actually, a lot of people don't know this, so I'll talk about it. It usually takes place at the Lowe's Hotel in Santa Monica, and it's an 8-level hotel. And imagine just all the beds and nightstands completely taken out. And what happens is production companies from all over the world who are interested in buying and or selling movies put up their posters. They put desks in there. They make it look like a little lobby. And if you buy your badge, then you have access to go in and literally go door to door and be like, hey, do you want my movie? Hey, do you want my movie? And that is exactly what I did for my first two features. With Claire's Ultimate Christmas, since that was the first time I had that experience, super nerve-wracking. I tried to look older. I put my hair in a bun. I put like dark lipstick. I put heels and like a snazzy blazer, like literally did not work. I walk in and you have a one sheet, like basically the poster on one side and then information about the film on the other. It's super cute. And I go in and like one company is like, oh, are you our intern that we're expecting? And I'm like, I have a film to talk to you about that I'm trying to sell. And then they're like, oh, la, da, da, da. And then just really funny because the company next door was a company that ended up buying my movie. So, but yeah, the American film market is really great. There are other markets around the entire world, but the American film market is, I think, the main one, and it's in LA. And so that was easier for me to to get to. And then that's where you go. So that's why I knew I wanted to go straight to market with Breeze, because I had done that for Claire's Ultimate Christmas, sold it one year, and then I went back again the next year for Pipeline, my horror thriller experimental, and then sold that one. And then I was like, okay, cool. Like, let me get ready to do that again for Breeze, but on a bigger scale.
So when you go into these rooms, you have these other one sheet and then you pitch them, and then what do you leave, like a screener behind, or how does that, or you just watch the trailer, or how do you actually sell it to them in that moment?
Great question. So you don't sell it in that moment.
Okay.
If you plan on going to the American film market or any market in general, you have to do your research. And for markets, you actually get a profile similar to Facebook. And you're like, this is my movie, this is my name, these are the people associated with the movie. But everybody at the American film market has a profile online through one of their platforms. And it says, hey, this company is buying family films. Hey, this company is buying horror. Hey, this company is interested in a number of genres. So for any market that filmmakers go to in the future, definitely do your research. You have to get your badge, get it ahead of time. And then do your research. I actually emailed the companies ahead of time, and I scheduled a meeting with as many as I could. And then the ones that I couldn't, that couldn't respond faster, whatever, you knock on their door and whatever. But there is a booklet and pamphlet of companies that go to market specifically to buy movies. So yeah, a lot of people, like, it was really hard to find that information, by the way. Like, I don't understand why I had to like go through it in order to really see what's happening. Like, there's some podcasts and stuff about it, but I'm like, why is this so secretive? So it was really nerve-wracking.
They always make it so difficult, right? So like,
I don't understand. Yeah, it's like, come on. But yeah, so so that's something that you could do for your future.
Absolutely. So do you feel like you've made it? Do you still have a day job? Do you just write full time? What is your life looking like now?
That is such an interesting question. Do I feel like I've made it? I am very happy right now with what I've been able to create for myself. I want to go harder. I want to do more. So I've been freelancing as a filmmaker and even video producer and video director for companies and stuff like that ever since I graduated college. So I've been freelancing since 2015, and that's just allowed me flexibility. And like, again, like, all the money that I make from freelancing, I just put it right back into my movies. And so I'm very happy about that. Like, not a lot of people can say that. And I feel very blessed and thankful that I just immersed myself, everything film. So my day job is definitely like organizing shoots and getting my shot lists and all that stuff. So I feel very blessed, and literally I like eat, sleep, everything film. Like, just during the day, I'm either organizing shoots or producing other stuff for businesses or individuals and whatnot. And then sometimes I'm shooting. I have my own gear. Sometimes I'm editing. And then I definitely am writing as much as possible. If it's not a feature, then I have a short film that I want to make, and you just get inspired. But yeah, it's a total immersive on my end. And I asked my friends, I'm like, are you guys annoyed of me? Like, this is all I talk about. And they're like, no, I think it's so cool. So I'm like, okay.
That's the kind of friends you want.
Yeah. So everyone is really supportive, and yeah, it honestly, this whole experience and just people reaching out to me, and this whole, I don't even know, like, I didn't mean to. I just wanted to make a movie. And you just want to like do it. And then I didn't like, you don't think it's like, I really didn't think it was going to get that kind of reaction. And even the kinds of reactions that I'm getting now about the movie and just my process and me being, you know, a Latin female film director, it's like, I just wanted to make my movie. And the fact that, you know, a lot of people have said they're inspired by me, it's like what? I was just trying to do this, like, you know, so that makes me super grateful. But I also, you know, it makes me want to get back to work. Like, I want to go harder and bigger and for the next one. And filmmaking is all about progression. So any filmmakers watching, you got to start wherever you are. Doesn't matter what you have, you just got to go.
I totally agree. Well, here's a question for you. I have, like I said, I've only done shorts and web series, and it's so much planning and things that happen that you never think would happen or you hope don't happen, right? They're always like kind of setbacks. So was there ever any moment when you were making Brie's Bake Off Challenge that you felt like it wasn't going to get done, or something happened that was like such a big setback that made you kind of threw you off balance? Did anything major happen while you were filming or after at post?
Oh yeah, there are so many. And when you're an indie filmmaker and you're on a budget, like, a lot of people will say, "Hey, I'm so sorry, I can't help you." And there's a lot of no's. It's really, really difficult. And during production, there were definitely expenses that came out of nowhere, that I literally bawled, like cried. And I really thought that we weren't going to film. And then a miracle happened, you know, a few days later, and it actually ended up being better, a better option. Things like that always happen. And when that happens, you really just have to keep going. And I definitely like told my family members, like, I don't know if I can do this, like, oh no, da, da, da. And then they were like, Emily, you said you're gonna do this, so now you have to do it, like, with whatever you have. And I'm like, oh dang, I did say that. And then definitely with post also, because we filmed that, post was 2019, 2020, and then the pandemic hit, and it's like, oh my gosh, are you freaking kidding me? So yeah, we did have a few obstacles where, I kid you not, I completely bawled and I was hopeless and I was like, what is happening? And it's one of those things, you have to cry it out. And then once you feel a little better, like, okay, what are my options? What can I do to actually make this work? So Brie's Bake Off Challenge, being an indie movie, completely had so many obstacles that were so extremely difficult. Like, I kid you not. But the fact that, you know, we just kept going is really, like, it took 5 years, like, you know, so. And
you shot it in, how long was actually the shooting portion of it?
Yeah, so with that, we I'll go ahead and say we had 14 shoot days.
That's like standard, right, for a movie?
Yeah, a lot of people want at least 20.
Oh.
So or think that it's 20, but yeah, no, we did 14. And again, budget, I myself had to cut down some shots that I really wanted in order to make our day. And I already knew ahead of time that, hey, if we run out of time, this is what I'm going to do. So I mentally prepared for that. So like, you know, prepare for that. And then, like, if you have time, shoot this. And if you don't, you know, make sure you have the coverage. So yeah, it was 14 shoot days total. Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, knowing that 21 is the norm, then yes, that seems like a lot. So those are probably very hectic days.
Yeah, yeah. But luckily, yeah, we actually planned really well. And yeah, because again, like, you learn as you go. So it worked.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so next, you said you have the rom-com and you have a dance movie. And then would you see yourself maybe directing for other people's features, or do you just want to stick to your own?
Oh no, I love directing for other people. I've been asked, and there are opportunities coming. So I'm open to all of it. And I'm just, again, really thankful. And I feel really good because I love making movies and making things. And one thing I will say is, for your audience, for filmmakers watching, is that you really have to visualize the end product as much as possible. And that is one of the things that helped carry me. Like, okay, I can visualize the DVD. I can visualize the poster on a major platform, like I don't know which platform, but this, so you really have to visualize the end product, and like you have to push yourselves and stuff. So but yeah, there's so many opportunities happening, and I'm like, oh my gosh, but I'm really excited and I'm ready to work. So this is what I came here for.
Yeah. Did you have a vision board?
Yeah, so I have a bunch of whiteboards, and I have my little studio, my home studio. I have a bunch of whiteboards. I have my planners and calendars, and I'm one of those people that use physical paper. And so I put little notes for myself, just reminders, because it's really, really easy to forget when you're in the grind and when you're hearing people tell you no. So you just need like for filmmaking, it's a numbers game for a lot of the things. And if someone tells you no for something that you need, you just move on to the next, and then you just gotta make it work. So
that is great advice. I'm a power of attraction person. I'm all about
oh
vision
yeah,
boards and all that. So when you were saying what you're saying before, I'm like, yes.
yes, use it. It helps.
And we're getting close to the end of the interview. So I just wanted you to talk about, I think you mentioned that you had a project in the works. Do you want to talk about that?
I do. Okay, so I will go ahead and tell everyone that 5 years ago in 2017, when I was picking my third feature, and I created like Bree's Bake Off Challenge, the outline, and I was like making my plan. I told myself, I'm going to write a family comedy. It's going to be called Bree's Bake Off Challenge. And I'm going to invest in myself and do all of that stuff. And on top of that, it's going to hit on a major platform. And once it does, I am going to make an online course to show filmmakers exactly how I did that. And so this was part of my plan. Did I know it was going to take 5 years? Absolutely not. But here we are. And I'm actually releasing an online course. It's completely, it's big. It's really extensive, and it's jam-packed with a lot of information. And it's called Indie Feature Filmmaking 101. And it's going to be available this summer. Part 1 is actually. So because of the amount of information that I am downloading onto this course based on my 10-year experience making movies and stuff like that. Part 1 is the movie mindset that you need to make a feature, pre-production and development, or development and pre-production. So that's part 1 that's going to be available this summer. And then part 2 is production and post. And then part 3 will be distribution and marketing, and the whole movie expansion, which is what we all have to do after we finish one movie. We move on to the next. So yeah, it's really exciting. I've been filming that, and I'm just jam-packing it with as much information, because I wish I had this information when I was starting out, and I don't understand why a lot of this information is so secretive. So I'm like, here, we need more filmmakers to tell their stories and make movies. And yeah, in my case, I invested in myself. So any filmmakers that are interested in my journey and how I did it, and if they want to do it the same, my course is on my website, themomentum.com. And I coined it with EM instead of UM, themomentum.com. So it'll be available there. And yeah, so we'll have more updates about that soon.
It sounds amazing. Please let me know when it's ready to go.
Yes, I'll definitely let you know. It's been really fun filming it. And also, just side note, it's making me practice, just talking about the movie and my journey, and there's more of that coming, so it's good.
Sounds good. And we can follow you at, what's your other, like your Instagram handle or Twitter or?
Yes, I'm on Instagram and TikTok, and I guess Facebook. So those 3. It's at The Momentum. So the moment and then EM. So instead of The Momentum with a UM, I coined it with my name, Emily. So The Momentum, gotcha. EM at the end. Yeah, thank you.
Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday and your Easter weekend and giving us all this helpful information and inspiring information. I loved watching your movie and hearing your story. And I'm sure everyone, please go and watch this movie. Go watch Bree's Bake Off Challenge on HBO Max. It's totally worth the subscription. And yeah, thanks again, Emily.
Thank you so much, Camille. I really enjoyed your questions. And yeah, thank you so much for having me on your channel. Really appreciate it. Thank you.